Kart Wii! Woohoo!
Mario Kart Wii follows up Mario Kart DS as the sixth installment to the Mario Kart franchise. Released in April 2008 as well as a year later for South Korea, the first console installment under the modern era format of Mario Kart, once again like Double Dash, set out for high ambitions and new features and mechanics. The Wii Remote is the main control option, which will be held on its side horizontally, with the steering being entirely motion controls, that being a first for the franchise. Packaged with just about every retail release of Mario Kart Wii is a Wii Wheel that a Wii Remote can be placed inside of to better immerse the player using the motion controls. You also have the option to connect the nunchuck to the Wii Remote and play with both it and the Wii Remote hand to hand. The classic controller is another option that involves attaching to the Wii Remote, and will give the player a more traditional but wireless spin on gameplay. The GameCube controller is the fourth and final option for play, and works as straightforward as connecting it to the Wii's GameCube controller ports. As another first for the Mario Kart franchise, the race field capacity has been expanded from 8 players to a mighty 12, for play that even carries towards a revamped online mode, with a new progression system, known as the Versus Rating, or VR for short. Bikes are also introduced in Mario Kart Wii, as an alternative to the traditional karts, that are able to perform a wheelie for additional speed boost on mainly straightaways. An all-new drifting procedure is introduced in Mario Kart Wii, in that performing mini-turbos through drifting will now be charged gradually, with the charge accelerating, depending on how much you steer into the direction of your drift. Unique to only karts, a new and advanced level mini-turbo debuts, and can be achieved through a prolonged enough drift, where the sparks from the rear tires emit to yellow. When moments before catching air from ramps and or bounce pads, use the shake button to perform tricks that, upon landing, will give the user a speed boost. The all-new Mario Kart channel allows access to your list of friends, ghost data, and time trial and tournament rankings amongst friends and up to players worldwide, all without the need of a Mario Kart Wii disc. In terms of sales, Mario Kart Wii trumps the last two installments by over 30% and became to date the highest selling Mario Kart title of all time with 37 million copies sold worldwide. Hello everybody, this is Nintendo 14. Welcome back to the year of Mario Karts. We have now arrived in the next chapter of Mario Karts. Here we are in the month of September, ready for some Mario Kart Wii. Now here I go into my usual story upon release of the Mario Kart game. For this one, this game was released a few months after Smash Bros. Brawl. So, natural reaction to the fact that this game would be released after Super Smash Bros. Brawl was that I found myself playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I wasn't very mindful in the fact that, you know, they're gonna come out with a Mario Kart game for the Wii. So yeah, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of those rare occasions where Super Smash Bros. Gets released before Mario Kart. Actually, for the GameCube, Melee came out before Mario Kart Double Dash. Getting indigestions like crazy. But nonetheless, yeah, it took me quite a while in order to play Mario Kart Wii. Like, it took me a while to get over playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And it's gonna play the... No, we'll get some gameplay, preview gameplay on the Rainbow Road. No, you can't see the Rainbow Road just yet. Anyways, where was it going? Instead, I'll just create my own license. That is a new thing. You can have individual save files. This is my own save file. This is a practice save file. And now let's get into this one new license. I have to give it a me too. That's a new thing too. So I think no, I'm not gonna go with any of those other me's. I'm just gonna go with the default me. This one will do. All right, now where was I getting at this again? Oh yeah. So my first time playing Mario Kart Wii was I rented it through Blockbuster. Yep. Not one of those Blockbuster stories back then, but yeah. I think it was the first time that I've rented Blockbuster from quite a while. It was in 2000. I think it was the same year on this game release, in 2008. That's when I first rented the game. I didn't get too far. I completed a few cups. And then that was that. When I rented the game, the whole rental thing expired, and then that was that. I didn't get to play Mario Kart Wii for another month or two. It wasn't until a couple while later where I was able to get my dad to buy me this game because and the way that I was able to get him to buy me this game is through it was during Little League 2. It was as simple as you need, like my dad would tell me, get to know every teammate in your Little League. If you can do that, if you can name everybody on your team, then I'll give you this game. Somewhat bizarre way of him getting me to do something to just so he can get a game, but you know what? I didn't complain. I easily did it, and then here we are. We got this game. So now, with that long drawn out introduction story for this game, let's go into the not the multiplayer, but the single player. I don't have anybody to play with. So now, just like with Mario Kart DS, we got some usual menus. Well, there's even more menus here than Mario Kart DS. Go to our usual 150cc, and now we got even more characters to start out with. We got a total of 12 here, a couple newcomers, and a couple veteran racers that returned from Mario Kart Double Dash. New inclusion of Baby Peach, making her debut in Mario Kart. Not a debut as a character. That was, I believe, was from either Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, or around maybe a Yoshi game. But now, who are we gonna play as? Oof, I didn't think this through, did I? You know, we'll start things as Mario, because why not? And now, we also got a choice between not just a kart, but also a bike. So I think for this, I want to go with the Wild Wing, because it looks like a pretty sweet kart. And for the whole duration of the playthrough for Mario Kart Wii, I'm going to be using manual. Automatic is pretty sweet, but I think for the sakes of gameplay and all that, and I'm a little bit above. I'm quite above using automatic, so I think I'll just go manual for the good old sakes. Alright, just so I could... okay, drop my... Okay, so it's exactly just like how it was in Mario Kart DS. We start out with only 4 cups, but we'll work our way up as we go. So let's, for the meantime, so we can get to those other 2 cups, let's start things off with the Mushroom Cup. Alright. So this game does have a lot of... Not a whole lot has changed between this and Mario Kart DS. I mean, this... If I were to call it, this game has a unique blend in between Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Double Dash, in that the game looks pretty similar to Mario Kart Double Dash. Doesn't play equally as say like Mario Kart Double Dash, and as well as Mario Kart DS, because there are a few new drastic mechanics that are much different than in any other Mario Kart game. For one, the drifting mechanic is different, in that you don't have to steer left and right. You just you steer in a direction, and that's how you drift. It's actually the same drifting mechanic as in current Mario Kart games. So that's a unique thing there. And then eventually, over time, you know, the frequency on getting the mini turbo this way does change. And also a new inclusion is the inclusion of not 8, but up to 12 players per race. So that surely does increase on, you know, the amount of mayhem that can occur in between each race. And we also got the ability to look behind us. We haven't had that since the very first game in Super Mario Kart. But here it's a lot more, it's like a more modern design. And you don't need like a second screen to look behind you. But needless to say, this is a nice thing. I always like to, well, my early days of racing on this Luigi circuit, I always use the top lane, but apparently, from what I've heard, that's not the best lane, and that's it's actually slower than if you were to go low. I always thought it was faster. That's why I took it on all 3 laps. Kind of like I took it halfway that last lap. Anyways, we're going to Moo Moo Meadows, our next track. You'll see this track again in Mario Kart 8. A lot more forgiving there this track does feel much more tighter and more narrower for this game. Let's get a usual start. Hasn't changed a bit since Mario Kart DS. Just gas it once sometime after. Gas it sometime after the 2. And also the new drift. You can, not the new drift, but I already went over that. But you can draft just like you did in Mario Kart DS. In that, you get right behind them, and then you can get a little boost. Speaking of features like that, let's get to the next new feature, and that's when you jump off a ramp, you can trick and get even more boost that way. Avoid these camels just like that. I do have to say, you can also have new types of controls. This is also a first game in the series where you can have multiple controls. I'm going to be using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck throughout this entire playthrough. You can use the Wii Remote side on its side, and if you have the peripheral, you can use the Wii Wheel to make it feel like an actual wheel. But you don't need the wheel; it's just a cosmetic thing. And then you can also use the Wii Classic controller, where you plug your Classic controller into Wii Remote and play in a more traditional fashion like that. As well as you can plug in the GameCube controller, but only if you're playing on the original Wii. Because on the Wii U, which I'm playing on right now, it doesn't have any GameCube sockets, and the Wii and the GameCube adapter that you use for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, that doesn't work here. It only works for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. So for newbies that may think that, then don't. I wish it was the case too, but that's not what. That's not how it panned out. Alright, so getting back into it. We're into the third race in Mushroom Gorge. Man, these track intros, they get long, don't they? I think it feels a little bit longer than what we had in Mario Kart DS. And it was especially short in Mario Kart Double Dash. Alright. I pushed it too far. I think another thing I would like to get into is the difference between karts and bikes. For one, in karts you have 2 different levels of how you can charge your boost, just like in Mario Kart 8. And that's you charge it for a little bit, you could get a blue drift, like usual in traditional Mario Kart. But if you charge it long enough, you can have the sparks turn. You can make it turn yellow, like I did right there. And if you get the yellow boost, it is much quicker. Like you get a bigger boost if you get the yellow boost. So if you're using a kart, you make full use of that. And as for the bikes don't have a yellow boost. You can only go up to blue. But to make up for that, you can wheelie if you lift up on shake up on the. We barely dodged that power block, which is a new item. We'll get into that in a bit. But you can shake up on the Wii Remote to do a wheelie, and you can get some pretty good boost. If you can get good boost off of it on, say, like straightaways. So the more experienced players can make full use of that. Am I gonna fall? No. I'm not used to taking that top route, or not the top route, but the route on the left. The right side route for that area is much more forgiving. And also, the one thing I would like to stress from the effects of having more players is that there's a bigger chance that we get a lot of crazy items being spawned. So yeah, the chances of someone getting like a blue shell or a lightning are more so now that there's more people here. Alright, so I'd like to go over the new items too. There are 3 new items that you can get here now. The first one we saw in the very beginning of the cup in Luigi Circuit, which is the Thundercloud. That's not an item you want to get only if, like, say, if you need it or at the very end of the race. But in other cases, if you ever get it, you can try to make advantage of the fact that it does give you better top speed, or not really top speed, but you get more speed if you have the Thundercloud, but you don't want to be holding on to that for very long, because eventually it will zap you as if it were lightning. But the worst thing about the Thundercloud is that it affects only you. Everybody else is fine as long as they don't bump into you, but which is how you're going to be able to get it off the Thundercloud, because you can pass it on to someone if you run into them. And nextly, the next item is the Power Block. It's self-explanatory in that if you're on the ground and then it goes off, then you do go up in the air. But there is a pretty handy trick on how you can make it probably the weakest item in Mario Kart history. Although anytime you do get hit by the Power Block, you do knock away your items. But the neat thing about this trick that you can work around with in the Power Block is that you can not lose that much speed. You'll jump in the air and that's about it. You pretty much maintain most of your momentum, but not much controllability. So that's what am I getting with this? Anyways, basically, if handled right, you can not make the Power Block won't be as devastating. So I wouldn't worry too much about the Power Block if you know how to handle it. Just shake the Wii remote at the right time on when the Power Block will be active, and then that'll be the case. And then the last new item, it's the Mega Mushroom. Basically, think of it as a star, but it has less effects as a star, in that certain strong items will still hit players in the Mega Mushroom. So you can still use the Mega Mushroom as a way to take a shortcut, like the star item. But just hope that you get the star more so than the Mega Mushroom, because it's I'm not too crazy about the Mega Mushroom. It's all right. I mean, it's like an okay version if you really need the star. Anyways, we're in a tight race here. Baby Mario and the older Mario are at it. And where'd he get that fake item box? Man, if only I could tell if they had items. Let's get back in. Items are gonna be relentless here, at a time when I need items. Let's change on this, really? Come on, no. We're not gonna win a bunch of races and then choke it away on the last lap. We need to get back up there. Nope. Man, it changes at the wrong timing. Alright, come on, P3. P3, it's good enough. Okay, I'm okay with the 3 for 4, but can maintain on that cup. We actually are back in the win column for the Mushroom Cup. We didn't do that last time in Mario Kart DS, which I'm happy about. So Mario will lead the way in the Gold Cups here for Mario Kart Wii. We're going to be in a 2 upload week schedule, like we did in, I wouldn't say we did in Mario Kart Super Circuit, because there was 2 extra cups that we did there. But here it's a more straightforward 2 upload week schedule, and that's we'll do a Nitro Cup course. We'll do a Nitro Grand Prix on Tuesday, and then we'll do some retro tracks. Yeah, those are back here for Mario Kart Wii. We'll be doing those on Thursdays. So that's the plan for this week and every week here in September. So that's gonna do it for the Mushroom Cup, the first part of Mario Kart Wii. Tune next time this Thursday, as we're gonna be racing with, not, I wouldn't say online, but we're gonna be racing in the Shell Cup, the first 4 of the retro tracks that will be brought back here in Mario Kart Wii. And we may have some special guests alongside the road. So till then, I'll see you guys later.